Honourable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favour upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in their sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic, thou members of Parliament and Ministers of State with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labours of government, this land and people may be well and truly served. Their good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service, and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, let's move straight to item numbered 5. Correction of vote and proceedings and official reports. We have the vote and proceedings of Thursday, 29th May 2025 under consideration. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Page 12. Page 13. Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the vote and proceedings of Thursday, 29th May 2025 is hereby adopted as the true records of proceedings. Honourable members, official reports. We have 2 official reports. Official report of 28th March 2025 and 29th March 2025. Honourable members, let's start with Friday, 29th March 2025. It's before you for correction. Yes, Honorable Frank Afriye.
Speaker, thank you very much. Friday is rather 28th March, but since you mentioned 29th March, let me...
No, we are looking at Friday, 28th March.
Okay. I thought I had 29th.
Mismatch and Honourable members, the official report of Friday, 28th March 2025 is before you for correction. Honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the official report of Friday, 28th March 2025 . Honourable member, are you on your feet? Yes.
Thank you, Speaker.
March, yes.
So, Saturday, 29th March. Speaker.
No, let's finish with the 28th March, then we can come to 29th March. So if your issue is with 29th March, let me finish with the 28th March.
Oh, okay.
So, honourable members, in the absence of any correction, the official report of Friday, 28th March 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Now, the official report of Friday, 29th March 2025. Honourable Frank Afriye, you have the floor.
Speaker, just a minor but important correction. Column 10, paragraph 3. If it pleases you, Speaker, the table should delete assembly, which is singular, and insert assemblies, the plural form of same. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Table office take note. Any further correction? Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the official report of 29th March 2025 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, item numbered 6 on today's order paper. Business statement for the second week. Chairman of the Business Committee.
Thank you very much. Right Honourable Speaker, your committee met on Thursday, 29th of May, and arranged business of the House for this second week, and then Friday, 6th of June, 2025. We accordingly submit our report. Honourable Speaker, you may read any available communication to the House during the week. We have 72 scheduled questions. 22 are urgent, 50 are oral, and in all, 11 ministers of state will appear before the House to answer those questions. Statements may be made by ministers on matters of government policy and by members as well. And bills, papers, and reports may be presented to the House. So, Speaker, motions may be debated and consequential resolutions taken. There will be the regular briefings of the House. So, Speaker, I believe that during that week, notice of the nomination of the Supreme Court judges will also be put out and preparations made for the Appointments Committee's work. So, Speaker, in accordance with Order 216(2) and subject to Order 67, the committee submits to the House the order in which the business of the House shall be taken during the week, and urge this House to adopt the report. Thank you.
Honourable members, the business statement has been ably presented by the Chairman of the Business Committee. It is now for your comment. Yes, Honourable Habib.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the Majority Leader and the Chairman of the Business Committee when we should be expecting the mid-year budget. Mr. Speaker, the second observation on page 7, 8 up to 9. The chairman of the committee made provisions for business on Friday, the 6th of June. My understanding is that the minister responsible for Interior and National Security have declared that day a public holiday. And Mr. Speaker, even though the minister responsible for Interior declared the Friday 6th June as a public holiday for Eid al-Adha, Mr. Speaker, we are all aware that the president did promise that the Eid festival, there will be a 2-day holiday. And Mr. Speaker, the Eid al-Fitr, which is the first one, we had 2 holidays that the president, based on the promise of the president. And when the president was cutting the sword for the Hajj board, he said that it is a time for deep spiritual reflection, community gathering, and an act of charity. Additional holidays will give Muslims ample time to rejoice. Eid al-Adha is a very important Eid for Muslims, and it is the climax of the 5th pillar of Islam. The majority leader, you are the first Muslim majority leader of parliament. You are the first. So I don't think he is the first Muslim majority leader from 92 up to date. So you should ensure that the promise of the president that he is going to give 2 days for Eid celebration. The interior minister only offers SIF, which is 1 day, and that is not the promise of the president. I don't want to believe it is part of a promise and fail by the president, telling Muslim community that I'm giving you 2 days and then ended up giving us 1 day. So, Majority Leader, you will have to liaise with the Interior Minister and let us know, because we are concerned, because it is what the President promised Ghanaians. And he has given the first one. Why is the second one not given? We need to know. I'm saying that Eid al-Fitr, the President had promised 2 days holiday for Eid. In Eid al-Fitr, he gave the 2 days. Eid al-Adha, which the Interior Minister said 6th June is a holiday for Eid al-Adha. And it is not 1 day that the President promised. He said Eid, and we have 2 Eid. We have Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. So I don't know why you do one and you not give the other. So you need to brief us or talk to the minister responsible for Interior why he has to give Muslims 1 day for Eid al-Adha when the president promised us 2 days. That's what I am saying. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why I'm talking to the chairman who wants clarification. I'm talking to the chairman who needs clarification on the issues that I am raising. Because Majority Leader, even though we appreciate what the president did for us for the Eid al-Fitr, the 2 days, equally, Eid al-Adha is the climax of the 5th pillar of Islam, which is very, very important. That's the time we slaughter our cows. And that's the time we even need more time to rejoice. So I can invite the minister responsible for roads and highways to come and marry with me. But if he give us 1 day, it's against the promise of the president. And I don't want to believe that the president deceived the Muslim community. Thank you.
Yes, Chairman of the Business Committee, can we take some comments, then you have the floor to respond to them. Yes, Minority Chief Whip.
Speaker, let me start off by commending the leader of the House, who so far has navigated well. Now, if you look at the business statement as proposed for the adoption by the House, clearly replete with a number of questions. 72 questions is not ordinary. And these questions are questions
that are outstanding, which has been offloaded. I'm also reliably aware that there are fresh questions. In fact, for our side, there are fresh questions that we have filed, anticipating the ministers to come and do justice and respond to these questions. So what? Now, we will not countenance excuses in the coming weeks. In fact, some of the ministers dutifully attend upon the House. Some don't. And we are taking a cue. I don't want to mention any names, but the Honorable Road Minister is a notable personality who is always in the House. Now, Honorable Akande has joined him. Now, Honorable Akande is taking a cue from Honorable Abuja. The other ministers should take a cue. In the coming weeks, Majority Leader, we are not going to countenance, I am attending a meeting here, I am attending a conference here. This is Parliament, and it must prioritize the work of Parliament. So I'm hoping the respected Majority Leader will take this into consideration as we plan programs and activities for the ensuing week. Speaker, the Majority Leader will recall that I was at the Business Committee meeting. One of the agreements, significant agreement at the meeting, which I found missing, was a decision to program the Exchequer, the Finance Minister, to be here between Tuesday and Wednesday because of what he's doing at, we are told, an official program at Côte d'Ivoire, the AFDB elections. I can't find that captured. The Finance Minister must be in the House. Common Fund is outstanding. Jet Fund project is outstanding. Well, NHIS, we are yet to give official assent to the formula, so one cannot talk about it. You can see sadness in the faces of, if you visit assemblies, no show. The assemblies are unhappy. The ministers are not happy. Why? And the Finance Minister will so moto decide when he wants to pay Common Fund. He's our friend. He's one of our own. But this one will put friendship aside. He must be programmed to attend upon the House and tell us what the plans are to honor these payments. And I'm sure the leader of the House agrees with me. Again, there's an observation that is emerging as a trend. Mining agreement. I recall when we passed the budget for the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, there was no provision for the reclamation of polluted water bodies, land, and all what have you. Yet, mining agreements day in, day out are being extended. Mining agreements are being signed. Article 268 of the Constitution is clear. An imperative on this House to ensure the ratification of these agreements. The Majority Leader, a respected lawyer as he is, also agrees. The current one is the gold mines, Goldfields Damine Mine. We are aware, formally, there was a former release. Government has extended it. Yet, the executive cannot take Parliament for granted. They must bring that agreement here for ratification. We are entering the second week and no show. Meanwhile, the mining companies are working. Parliament has not ratified it. And the mining companies are working. These agreements must be brought to the House forthwith for Parliament to consider them. The executive cannot assume that the extension of the agreement is an automatic ratification by Parliament. No. Especially in this time and age, when water bodies, we have renewed effort in the pollution of water bodies and the destruction of land. We cannot. The Lands Minister, this is not a matter for him to shed tears. This is not a matter for shedding of tears. He should just bring the agreement for us to consider. And I'll bring this to the notice of the majority leader to ensure the minister does the needful. If you visit Sakumono and its environs, houses are being pulled down for reasons we don't know. What we hear is that these houses have been built on waterways. Ramsar sites have been encroached upon, and hence the need for these houses to be pulled down. We don't know. That is what we've been hearing. At least, as a representative of the people, the minister should come. We will want to support the minister to sanitize building activities and to ensure that the right thing is done. Because I am also aware, and some of the assemblies who wrongfully issue building permits and yet go behind and cause the destruction of these same buildings. So it's a big concern, and we will be happy if the local government minister or a minister relevant to this program to come and apprise us. Is it just the question of structures being built on waterways being destroyed? Are there other considerations we need to look at? These are concerns that we cannot simply gloss over. Let me draw the curtains on an engagement we had with the Speaker and leadership. I thought that the discussion has been firmed up in terms of the time we'll start proceedings. We are told there's a proposal almost accepted that we should start proceedings at 2. And leader, I don't know if it's a matter that has been firmed up. It should find expression, or we should have a confirmation so that honorable members can program themselves accordingly.
Honorable member, on that note, I was part of that meeting, and you know it was conditional. Various caucuses would have to be informed, and by the agreement of the caucus, then the change will come appropriately. I think that was the decision taken at that meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. My conclusion is that the mood of the House, leader, I'm trying to gauge the mood of the House. I see your back, sadness to the power 4, and our back, sadness to the power 3. Majority leader, do something. The mood of the House is not too good. Members are happy. There are matters I cannot discuss in the open. So leadership must engage. Honorable Doyo, do the needful. Honorable Doyo, are you listening? You are on call. Listen to me. Deputy Whip, are you talking to the Finance Minister?
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, you rightly stated it, that leadership must engage. So do your engagement and communicate it to the caucus.
And we also want to plead that the majority leader, I trust him. When he wants to deliver, he does deliver. He doesn't want. But this one, we are not happy. There are lots of discussions that we cannot elaborate on in the open. And then finally, there are 4 ministers that are still outstanding. What are we waiting for? We are ready to support you. Bring your 4 ministers. The Honorable Mills, for instance, he needs to be considered. My good friend. And then I see Adongo has been praying and fasting. Speaker, he doesn't fast. He has been.
Honorable Anodon Pre, do you want to be appointed?
No, Speaker, I know he's one of our own, and when he succeeds.
No, do you personally want to be appointed?
No, my time will come.
So what is your worry?
Speaker, my time will come. Just that I'm worried the way Honorable Adongo is not happy. He's not happy. He has been praying and fasting, hoping that the last 4, he will make the list. And the 4 is not coming. So, majority leader, try and push the 4 so that we can consider our good friend. Because having said that, I want to thank you for the space and invite the majority leader to give us some good answers. I thank you.
Let me hear briefly from Honorable Adongo.
Mr. Speaker, I think it to me be very, very sad that you are here talking. He was expecting you to sleep at Yoko with him. You abandoned him to sleep there. And today, you promised the people of Ghana that you abandon this chamber. You are here making a lot of arguments. Wuntumi, you people should tell Wuntumi his people are deceiving him. And he's sleeping there alone and they are here. Arguing for more holidays.
Honorable Adongo, are they supposed to sleep there with him?
Mr. Speaker, that is what they made us believe.
Chairman of the committee,
We were surprised when they were sitting on the ground there.
Honorable
But when we went there at 7, they had disappeared.
Yes, Honorable Kwame Animado.
For you.
I think it's a technical challenge.
It's back. Come here. Mine is working. So you can come and use this one. The majority leader deliberately off the minority's mic. Come and use this one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's a short one. I just wanted to remind the majority leader that we are entering June, and up till now, we haven't seen the motion for the resolution for the international parliamentary delegations. It was something that was on the order paper last meeting, but surprisingly, we cannot see that, and we are entering June almost tomorrow. So if you want, we can hear something from him on that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. It's a very good observation. Yes, Chairman of the Business Committee, you have the floor.
Right Honorable Speaker, I regret what is happening to the microphones of the minority. The IT department should fix it. The minority have called off their announced boycott of the House, and therefore they need the microphones working so that they can participate fully. So I urge the IT department to quickly fix that, because the minority do not intend to boycott the House. On the question about mid-year budget, I'm sure when we get to the middle of the year, it will come. And also, the Honorable Habib's issue about a second holiday for Eid Adha. If you listened carefully to the President, what he said was that I am pleased to announce that I have instructed the legal counsel at the Presidency, Madame Marietta Brew, to amend the Public Holidays Act to allow for an additional holiday in celebration of Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr. From this year onwards, 2 public holidays will be observed at the end of the holy month of Ramadan. This is what the President said. At the end of the holy month of Ramadan. And I was in Cabinet, and indeed the proposal was presented, it was carried, and the amendment to the public holidays bill will be brought and the appropriate legislation will be enacted by this House. That was the specific promise of the President. Ministers attending, yes, we'll try and make sure that the ministers attend. Parliament is one of their first primary responsibilities, especially those who are members of Parliament. And if unavoidably they cannot make it, we'll also give advance notice and reschedule the questions. As you will know, we don't have too many ministers. We have ministers that don't have deputies. Some international conferences require Ghana to be represented at the highest levels. And so ministers often have no option but to represent the country. And when that happens and they don't have deputy ministers, we will have to reschedule their questions. Otherwise, we will make sure every minister who is in town is here to answer their questions. I agree that mining agreements that the Constitution says must be ratified should be brought here for ratification. So any mining agreement that the Constitution says should be ratified by this House must be brought for ratification. So I will re-echo your call for those mining agreements to be brought to Parliament for us to consider. Local government minister, I think if you look at the statement, I did indicate that Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order 91, ministers of state may be permitted to make statements on government policy. Government policy. See, let's not confuse statements to be made by government ministers on government policy with our responsibility as members of Parliament to ask ministers specific questions on implementation of the law for them to come and answer. When somebody builds at the wrong location and an assembly goes to enforce the law, if you want the minister here, you have to ask a specific question for the minister to come. It is not a government policy. The rules are clear that the ministers come here to answer questions asked by us specifically or to make statements on government policy. So we cannot, anytime that a business statement is presented, get up and recount all the things that we perceive to be going wrong in this country and say that the minister should come and answer when you haven't asked them a specific question, when it is not government policy. So henceforth, let's be careful what we ask for, because sitting here, I'll make sure that I check the rules and I use the rules to checkmate you. So ministers will only come to make statements on government policy, and ministers will only come to answer specific questions asked of them by members of Parliament. Not this practice where on Fridays everybody gets up and recounts from A to Z what he thinks that a minister should come and make a statement about. And I did have discussions with the members of Business Committee, and I indicated that the Minister for Finance had planned to come early this week on Tuesday to make a number of statements, but because of his appointment as a returning officer at the election of the president of the African Development Bank, he had to immediately leave for Abidjan and has asked me to reschedule the program for him to come and make the statements this week. So I had made that known to members at the Business Committee, and that is why we've made provision in C that ministers may come and make statements. Starting proceedings at 2 p.m. Yes, we did discuss that. We agreed among ourselves as leaders, but we thought we should engage our various caucuses before formally announcing it. And so when we have the committee of the whole, we can discuss it, and when we have our caucus meetings, we can discuss it and give the speaker a feedback so that he can make a formal announcement. I do agree that we must have a resolution on the delegations, and so we would accelerate the process of making sure that in the ensuing week we have the resolution on the delegations. I thought we had, what was holding us was the percentage of the representation. I took a position, my counterpart took a position, and nobody is willing to back off from his position, and that is what is holding us. If you accept my position, we will come and pass the resolution. Otherwise, Speaker has proposed a midway, which is to announce the statutory representation, and the nominee representation from both caucuses will be presented when we are able to conclude on what we think are the appropriate representations from both sides of the House. That is what is holding us. On the mood of the House, I think the mood of the House is good. So, the mood of the House is good. 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 And we will uplift it further. We will uplift it further. But the mood is good. And I thank colleagues and urge you to adopt the report of the committee.
Yes, Honorable Anodon Press.
Speaker, I'm not too old in this House. However, I have witnessed my fourth term. I'm quite old. The majority leader relates to a fact that specific question should be asked of ministers, and the ministers should come and answer to these specific questions. I also know for a fact, as a practice of the House, that where there is a matter of national concern, a matter that is of importance, oftentimes their side, when they were here, and he himself has exploited that, where he will say that this is a matter of public concern, and hence, shall we program the minister to come and apprise us? We've done this thing a number of times. Is it the case that under his reign, new king, new law, so he's going to depart from that? I think it's not good enough. Yes, we know the existence of the provisions in the orders that allows us to ask specific questions. It is also a practice that where a matter as grave as the destruction of properties, and the majority leader is saying that it is not of national concern, and therefore we cannot program the minister to come and apprise that. I find that very strange. And I leave this to the judgment of this House. Personally, I think we should look at it again.
Honorable Chief Whip, with all due respect, I believe strongly the way we are going about it calls for concern. If a matter is not before the business committee for discussion to be programmed, and you are asking that the business statement to be varied to accommodate a particular issue of great importance, you go about it in a way not to create the impression as if that ought to have been programmed, yet it is not on the business statement. That is where the missing link is coming from.
Yeah, you see, at the business committee, I raise it. And oftentimes, I don't just raise it. I don't like surprises. I've often reached out to him. Even this morning, he will bear me out. A matter on the lease, mining lease. I went to him, I said, leader, with respect, this is a matter of national concern. I don't want to pull a surprise on the floor. Get prepared, I'm going to raise it. At the business committee, I brought it to his attention that
at the time that the business statement has already been prepared.
But he answered it. He considered it important. So at the business committee, I spoke to him and said that, leader, People's buildings are being pulled out. It's a concern. It's a national security matter. Can you reach out to the minister so that at least he comes to carry us along? The minister may have good intentions, but the impression out there is not good.
So what was the decision of the business at the business committee on the matter?
It wasn't a decision of the committee. He promised that he will reach out to the minister. So, but if it's a decision that I have to file a specific question, that's fine. I will.
Yes, Majority Leader and Chairman of the Business Committee.
Mr. Speaker, I think that we must bring discipline to the way that we conduct affairs and proceedings in this House. You can ask an urgent question. The rules make provision for asking urgent questions so that the minister can come and answer those questions. But we sidestep the rules and we come on Fridays after we've agreed at business committee meeting what should be the business, and then we come and raise all manner of things. Matters that we could simply address by asking urgent questions. Because we make provision that, Mr. Speaker, the Business Committee has scheduled the following ministers to respond to questions asked of them during the week. So we've made provision for questions. We've made provision for urgent questions and then oral questions. Then our rules are clear on our right to ask urgent questions. So I'm just saying that let's be a bit more compliant with our rules. And this theatrics of every Friday we come and then we raise issues and make it look like as a leader, I can, based on your prompting, just direct a minister to come and make statements on the floor. And I'm saying that the minister will come and make a statement if it is government policy he wants to come and announce. But where an assembly is enforcing zoning laws, an assembly is enforcing building regulations, you may not like the idea that they are enforcing the law, but they are enforcing the law. Should a minister be held accountable because an assembly is enforcing the law? You can ask an urgent question. Why is the property in this location being pulled down? Then the minister will come and say, well, I've checked with the assembly, and the assembly says that they built at the wrong place, they had no building permit, the construction was defective, it is a hazard to the inhabitants of the building. They may have so many reasons why they have decided to pull down a building. So I think that we should follow the rules. We have done it in the past, but I strongly believe that at this rate, I see some effort to misuse this practice that we allow each other to engage in. We had the discussion, you drew my attention, and I said it's right. I think that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources should make sure he brings the agreements for us to ratify. You said you will raise it. I said no problem, raise it. Again, you discussed with me about the outstanding payments. I explained to the business committee that all the outstanding payments are ready. The finance minister has given payment instructions. I even showed some members of the committee the letter of the finance minister instructing payment. But I indicated that he wanted to accompany the instruction with a policy statement. And I had scheduled him to come on Tuesday. Unfortunately, he had to dash off to La Côte d'Ivoire. And so when he returns, we will schedule him. The only outstanding payment is National Health Insurance Authority Fund formula, which we haven't approved yet. So because we haven't approved it, the minister cannot make the payment. I explained all that to you at the committee meeting. So, Right Honourable Speaker, we've been very, very open. We've been very, very responsive. I just urge that let's keep within the rules of the House.
Honourable Minority Chief Whip, still on the business statement.
Yes, maybe we should draw the curtain on this matter, and he's spoken. But, Speaker, for the record, the majority leader used the word theatrics in all fairness and with respect to him, if I feel strongly about something, this is a debating chamber. I have the right to express same. I have the right to express same. I take exception to the word theatrics. I will not engage in theatrics for anything. I'm representing the people of Insaoma Dreji, and I have the right to speak to things that I believe in. Yes, no, I have not abused the rules. Leader, I have not abused the rules. You are the leader of the house. To use the word theatrics, no. When you were here, Fridays, we knew what you were doing. And no, not exactly. But you see, if it is the case that now you are here, and therefore you find it offensive, that's fine. But don't say that we are engaging in theatrics. That word should not be coming from you. You are the leader of the house. We respect you as the leader of the house. Don't use those words on us. We will not engage in theatrics for anything. Because I feel offended by that word. I feel offended by that word. We have cooperated with them. Even yesterday, when your Minister of Finance, Speaker, is he here? This is me. Speaker, yesterday, because Speaker, look at who is talking. Account yesterday, we allowed you to lay the papers for Finance Minister. You have a formula. We have not approved your formula yet. We have not approved your formula yet. You should be quiet. Because I think the majority leader, the greatest respect to him, he should just withdraw that word. Theatrics, no. That is an attack on the entire minority. To say that we are engaging in theatrics, no. We are representing our constituencies. And Speaker, I think I want to implore you to impress upon the respected leader to withdraw that word. Theatrics is not good a description for our side. I think it's wrong.
Yes, Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the chairman of the business committee, because when in responding to my earlier question, he said the president directed his legal counsel or the one in charge to bring the Public Holidays Act. So meaning even the 2 holidays for the Eid al-Fitr, it hasn't been properly captured in the Public Holidays Act. That's one. And then the second thing is that when I asked when we are expecting the media budget review, the chairman, you dancing around it. That's number one. The second thing is that majority leader, let me finish my question, then you can respond. Then the other thing is that okay, Mr. Speaker, the other thing is that when he was reading, he said on the holiday the president promised. The president only promised Eid al-Fitr. And if that is the communication to the Muslim community that he never promised Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, I have read the same speech that you are talking about. And part of the speech, which is reported on Graphic Online and other news portals, quoted the president saying that Eid, they said Eid is a time for deep spiritual reflection, community gathering, and an act of charity. The additional holiday will give Muslims ample time to fulfill their religious duties. So, Mr. Speaker,
Habib, with all due respect, don't you think that in working on the law, all these issues should be addressed?
So, Mr. Speaker, if it is the case that the president doesn't want to add Eid al-Adha, we should add the Eid al-Adha ourselves in this house, in this chamber. We can do it. And you are the first Muslim majority leader. It will be part of your achievement. And Mr. Speaker, the majority leader in responding to business statements, he has to be as calm as he is. He is the leader of the house. He shouldn't be using words that will provoke people. He should know that he is the leader of the house. And if his mood is there, we will double our own. But if his mood is down, then we will cooperate with him. So, majority leader, you are the leader of the house. And for that matter, certain words, don't let the minister responsible for health influence you. Akando, when he was here, that was part of the things that you were doing. You are now a minister. Stop influencing him. So do the needful and respect what the chief whip said. and do the needful so that you can carry us along. The mood of this today is not good, so don't let us make it worse.
Honorable Chairman of the Business Committee, your brother is not happy about the use of a particular words.
Mr. Speaker, as for theater, this chamber is a place for theater sometimes, and we all engage in theater, and it is to lighten the atmosphere in this room, and theater helps to communicate. That is the whole idea of theater, and sometimes when you are theatrical, you are more effective in communicating to your constituents that you are representing them. And so when I say that you are successfully theatrical, it means that you are effective in communicating to your constituents. So I thought that I was commending you. I thought I was commending you for being very, very effective. But if you think that you don't want to be applauded for being effective, I would draw the word theater. Mr. Speaker, I also want to assure my brother that definitely the mid-year budget will come. It will come. We just resumed, and so the mid-year budget will come in the middle of the year. I don't think that to say that the mid-year budget will come in the middle of the year is dancing. In fact, he also withdraw the word dancing. He says, I'm dancing. Mr. Speaker, was I dancing? Mr. Speaker, I'm also offended by being described as dancing when I was sitting. Mr. Speaker, I was sitting, and he said I was dancing. He says he has also withdrawn. We are even. Mr. Speaker, let me assure you that I mean no disrespect to any member of this House. And I think I forgot to address the question about ministerial nominees. I think it is the prerogative of the president to decide how many ministers he wants. I think the NDC, as a political party, before coming into office, promised a certain number. If the president thinks that he has enough men and women to work with, that's his decision. If the minority chief whip has favorites that he wants to recommend to the president, I cannot stop him from using this chamber to keep lobbying for his favorites. Some of them are also my friends and brothers. If they get appointments, I'll be happy. But it's up to the president to take a decision on the total number of ministers that he wants to work with. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
All members, the business statement as presented is hereby adopted. Honourable members, let me recognize the presence of our children here in our midst. We have Abosokai RC Primary School, led by Gifty Kumoji, a teacher. They are from Ablekuma Central constituency, a numbered 100. We also have Shalom School Complex, and the leader is Enes Yabua, administrator. They are in Duami Kwabenya constituency. We have Supreme Power School Complex, led by John Anabila, head teacher. They are from Mamasama. They numbered 62. On behalf of the House and on my own behalf, I wish our children a fruitful visit to the House. Thank you very much. Honourable members, we need to suspend sitting to take care of an urgent matter. Sitting will resume shortly. Thank you very much. Sitting accordingly suspended. Honourable members, I think we have some agreement for me to vary the order of business so that we can take the item numbered 8C before we come back to statement. Item numbered 8C, report of the Committee on Food and Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs on the World Trade Organization WTO agreement on fisheries subsidies. Chairman of the committee.
Report of the Committee of the Whole on the proposed formula for. Report of the Committee on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs on the World Trade Organization agreement on fisheries subsidies.
Honourable members, report duly presented and it is for the distribution to the House. Honourable members, can we take item numbered 11? Yes, Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, that is so. Mr. Speaker, we don't have any difficulty, except that the Majority Leader must understand when certain things are done in this way, later don't come and say we are doing it in bad faith when things are not in this speed. Ordinarily, we should have done something else before we come to the substantive motion. Well, Mr. Speaker, we have no difficulty in that. We can go ahead.
Well, this is not the substantive motion, this is the procedural motion. That's the item number 11. Chairman of the committee. No, Chairman of the committee, you are moving motion numbered 11.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. I wish to move motion numbered 11 on the order paper for the consideration of the House. And whilst procedural, thank you.
Motion moved accordingly. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded. This being a procedural motion, the question therefore is, as many as are in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it, the motion is accordingly carried. Chairman of the committee, motion number 12.
Thank you again, Right Honourable Speaker. I wish to move the motion number 12 as stated on the order paper for the adoption of the House, and that is in respect of the ratification of a WTO treaty between the government of Ghana and the WTO. Mr. Speaker, whilst moving the motion for this report, I wish to call on the table office to capture the full content of the report as if it were fully read. And Mr. Speaker, allow me to highlight a few points on the report. This report, Mr. Speaker, was submitted to the House and duly referred to your committee on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs. Mr. Speaker, we had a meeting with the leadership of the Trade Committee and considered the treaty. Mr. Speaker, the treaty is essential and I call on the House to ratify it. Mr. Speaker, it is essential on the basis that there are challenges with our fisheries and our fish stock in our oceans and our rivers. Mr. Speaker, there is a challenge of capacity of our fish stock in our river bodies and our oceans at the moment. There are a lot of challenges facing the sector and the resource. And one of the reasons why the challenges are enormous and have to be surmounted is because we have built a lot more capacity for some fisher folks to be able to engage in this over-exploitation of the resource. Mr. Speaker, this country is also faced with a yellow card warning from the European Union on fish and fish resources. One of the reasons why we need to take steps to reverse this yellow card warning is to be able to ratify some of these international treaties. I think that the benefits that ratification of this treaty
Remember,
brings
today is Friday. Conclude.
and are enormous, and I wish to therefore call on the House to adapt and ratify the treaty. Thank you. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Remember, the Hansard Department has captured the entire report as having been read. Any seconder of the motion?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion. But in doing so, there are a few challenges associated with the ratification, and I believe that it needs to come to the fore. Mr. Speaker, if you take the report, you can consistently see that the committee itself was not very comfortable with the ratification. Because consistently, they understand that our fisher folks, even though we are saying in this report that there's overcapacity, there's poverty along the whole coast of this country. And therefore, if you are bringing a ratification for us to work on, and therefore we are going to take, say, fuel subsidies, remake subsidies, take subsidies from fishing gear, clearly we know that our fisher folks are going to suffer. We know it, it's a fact. And therefore, I believe that if we have done this report without consulting our fisher folks, it is very important that as we bring a bill to domesticate this provision, we would also take cognizance of the fact that our fisher folks are suffering. And therefore, we can work on it. Mr. Speaker, you would also see that because our fisher folks are very poor, it is appropriate that we also bring in an investment program that actually invests in these communities for the long term. Because we've heard it, reduce the fishing effort. But we still need fish to eat in this country. So what other investment are we going to do to ensure that broadly our fisher folks can have some kind of diversified livelihood, support the work that they are doing? Otherwise, ratifying this is going to create a problem. It will be like we've gone for elections, we've told our fisher folks so many things. Now we are coming to ratify this and then go back to them and go and tell them that it's WTO that says that we cannot give you money for premix. WTO says that your fishing gear, we can't support you. And we know the difficulties. Even cotton net is so expensive, our fisher folks cannot even pay for it. And most of the time, you realize that they use the nylon, which is also not good for fishing in general. So, Mr. Speaker, as we are ratifying this to align with the global effort, government would have to come with some new investment arrangements to support our fishermen for the long haul through diversified living. With this free, Mr. Speaker, I believe that we need to support it to align.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Yes, Honourable Muntala Mohammed.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to the motion ably moved for the consideration of the House. I share the lamentations or the frustrations, if you like, of my colleague, the former regional minister for the Western region. I do know that he lives in communities that largely engage in fishing, or perhaps if they don't engage in fishing, I know the peripheral constituencies, constituencies that has a lot of people engage in fishing. And I can understand the challenges, but I think that we should also be focusing on how we stabilize the economy, build the resilience of our economy, and I think that there are symptoms of stabilizing the economy and the consequential effect it has on some of the materials that our fishing folks are using for the purposes of fishing. Once the economy is stabilized and the city is indeed, running away from the dollar as we are experiencing, the dollar which hitherto was in the prisons or locked and key, virtually a fugitive now, that fugitive has been arrested. It is our collective interest to see how we can all support to boost that. But most importantly, I know my good friend has a lot of investment in that region. Maybe perhaps he can partner people like us who do not live in areas that fishing is a livelihood, to see how we can diversify some of the numerous investment he has in the region for the purposes of assisting, these fisher folks. And for me, that will help. But, Mr. Speaker, one very important point I want to make is that in looking at the challenges confronting fishing in this country, we unfortunately tend to nip to the back environmental issues. A classical example he gave is some of the materials they use in fishing. And the fact that those materials are not good, the nylons, which has an impact on the environment, it destroys the ecosystem, it affects the ability of the fisher folks to even produce, to get enough fish too, because these things are all affected. And it is of this reason that I think that the World Environment Day, which falls on the 5th of June, the theme is on plastic waste. If you check our water bodies, you have huge deposits of plastics. And I think that he can see me after this. Let's see how we can work together to ensure that the plastic waste comes, is something that we fight. But largely, the economy is resilient now. The dollar is coming down. The materials that the people use for the purposes of fishing is coming down. Let's pray and hope that we maintain that, and I have no doubt in mind that ATU is indeed forcing. And the dollar certainly will continue to struggle at the expense of the city. And those materials wouldn't be in Ghana. In Ghana, I think it is also a reminder that we should focus on finding locally materials that we use for the purposes of fishing. That for me is significant. It's a wake-up call. Almost everything they use are imported. How are we going to come out with means by which we can have local materials that we use to support these our future folks to engage in fishing? And that is precisely what we should all be thinking as members of Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
I think I'll have to put a question after Leader submission.
Today is Friday, and we all want to close early, except that I want to draw the attention of the Minister responsible for Fisheries and Aquaculture and the Chairman that what they are doing today is not going to help the fisher folks and the fishing community. Minister, by ratifying this means that you are taking subsidy to completely out from the fisher folks. That the subsidy that is on the premix, the subsidy that is on the aboard motors, and even you are unable, Chairman, to tell us the capacity. What is the local capacity of and the impact of the subsidy that we are talking about? And also, I think we should know or be able to have a program about how we can improve the lives of the fisher folks. By taking out this subsidy, definitely will have an impact on the people. What is the poverty assessment level? What impact will it make? We need to know all this. Even though today the Speaker is actually urging us to rush out things, and I think that is what we are going to benefit. But in essence, what the Minister responsible for Fisheries and Aquaculture bring is to bring hardship to the fishing communities, is to be able to put them in a very tight corner. They will be unable to do anything. So there must be an alternative livelihood for the fisher folks so that they will be able to improve and take care of themselves. In a normal day, we wouldn't have been party to this because we don't believe that we should put more burden on the fisher folks. But today, the NDC government, led by the minister responsible for fisheries and aquaculture, minister, you need to pay attention to what I'm saying, because you've campaigned a lot on the fishing communities, and you have said a lot in the fishing communities. And today, you are the one leading the charge to take off all this subsidy, and this is all going to help. Mr. Speaker, I second the motion. Thank you.
Yes, Majority Whip.
Mr. Speaker, let the record reflect that the agreement being ratified by this House today in no way will lead to removal of subsidies. The agreement is very clear. If you read at Article 3, Clause 1, Speaker, it says this: no member shall grant or maintain any subsidy to a vessel or an operator engaged in illegal, unreported, and unregulated IUU fishing or fishing-related activities in support of IUU fishing. This is what the convention is saying. So it is categorizing those people that where subsidies are applied, it still affects those engaged in illegalities. So Mr. Speaker, please. So Mr. Speaker, let the record reflect this. Then two, I'll just touch on paragraph 5, sub 3 of the report. It says the committee acknowledged the agency associated with the ratification of the WTO agreement on fishery subsidies, particularly in the light of Ghana's current yellow card status issued by the European Union as a result of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing practices. This is what the ratification of this agreement will help us to deal with, Mr. Speaker. I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for that explanation. After taking the leaders, I intend to put a question at the conclusion of the debate. The question is, as many as are in favor of the motion, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Yes, item number 13, consequential resolution. Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Whereas by the provisions of Article 75 of the Constitution, any treaty, agreement, or convention executed by or under the authority of the President in the name of Ghana is made subject to ratification either by an act of Parliament or by a resolution of Parliament supported by the votes of more than 1/2 of all the members of
Minister, you have the floor.
In accordance with the said Article 75, now therefore this Honorable House hereby resolves to ratify the said World Trade Organization Agreement on Fishery Subsidies. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to address a number of issues that have been said here. I just want it on record that Ghana ratifying this WTO treaty rather protects our fishermen from over-exploitation. Thank you. I so move.
Honourable members, the Honourable Minister move for the adoption of the resolution. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I wish to second the motion.
The motion is moved and seconded. As many as are in favor of the adoption of the resolution say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The resolution numbered item 13 on today's order paper is accordingly adopted. Honourable members, I think at this stage we have to order the House to be constituted into a committee of the whole. The House is accordingly ordered to constitute into committee of the whole. Thank you very much.
You should go a committee on the whole. Let's go for it.
Take your seats. Honourable members, kindly take your seats so that we can complete the business of the day. Honourable Deputy Majority Leader, item numbered 8A. Item numbered 8A. Honourable Deputy Majority Leader. Honourable Deputy Majority Leader. Honourable Ricket Hagan, item numbered 8A.
That's what they don't have. Who is bowing?
I'm just saying.
You just have to lay the item numbered 8A.
Report of the Committee of the Whole on the proposed formula for distributing the National Health Insurance Fund for the year 2025.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is for the distribution to honourable members. Honourable members, in the meantime, can we come back to item number 7 on today's other paper? Statement. What is the one? Honourable members, we have admitted 2 commemorative statements on the World No Tobacco Day. Honourable members, the first one is standing in the name of Honourable Jocelyn Kwashi, Member of Parliament for North Dine. And the second one is standing in the name of Michael Edu, Member of Parliament for Ofori Krom constituency. Honourable members, since the 2 statements are on one subject matter, I propose that we take them jointly. I will then proceed to give the floor to Honorable Jocelyn Kwashi to present the statement, and thereafter, Honorable Michael Edu will do same. Then we can open the floor for comments. So, Honorable Jocelyn Kwashi, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to join the global community in marking World No Tobacco Day, commemorated annually on the 31st of May. This year, the World Health Organization and public health advocates across the globe unite under a bold and timely theme, unmasking the appeal, exposing industry tactics on tobacco and nicotine products. This year's campaign aims to reveal the strategies employed by the tobacco and nicotine industries to make their harmful products enticing, particularly to young people. By exposing these tactics, WHO seeks to drive awareness, advocate for stronger policies, including a ban on flavors that make tobacco and nicotine products more appealing, and protect public health. Mr. Speaker, behind the shiny packaging, the attractive flavors, and the sleek advertisements lies a multi-billion-dollar industry that is unrelenting in its effort to recruit the next generation of consumers, our children, our youth. This is not simply a public health issue. It is a matter of national development, social justice, and intergenerational equity. The tobacco industry, facing declining numbers in traditional markets, has shifted its gaze towards our youth, and our young people are at the center of their strategy. They use digital platforms, influencers, giveaways, and misleading harm reduction claims to paint smoking and vaping as trendy, modern, and even harmless. Mr. Speaker, all around us, the tobacco industry is glamorizing smoking and using deceptive marketing, all in a bid to lure our young ones into smoking, but we know better. Mr. Speaker, we know that tobacco remains one of the leading preventable causes of death globally. In Ghana, the burden of tobacco-related diseases is rising quietly but steadily. Heart disease, cancer, chronic respiratory illnesses, all of which strain our already fragile health system. The tactics employed by these companies are both predatory and deceptive. They sponsor youth events, target our youth with subtle advertising, and introduce flavored products that mark the harshness of nicotine. They fund misleading research and co-opt the language of health to evade regulation. They fund misleading research and co-opt the language of health to evade regulation. Our television screens are flooded with movies which portray e-cigarettes, shisha, and cigar as status icon for the ultra-rich or luxury signaling for elite characters. It is time we unmask these tactics and protect our people, especially the youth, from manipulation. Mr. Speaker, we must be deeply concerned about the increasing normalization of nicotine products, particularly e-cigarettes and heated tobacco products, under the guise of innovation and choice. Let us be clear, there is no safe level of tobacco or nicotine use. The idea that new products are somehow less harmful is not only scientifically questionable, but also morally irresponsible when marketed to young people. I wouldn't want to bog you down with too much facts and figures, Mr. Speaker, except this one that, according to the U.S. National Center for Chronic Disease Prevention and Health Promotion, a single cigarette contains over 4,800 chemicals, 69 of which are known to have caused cancer, while secondhand smoke contains over 7,000 chemicals, including 70 cancer-causing chemicals. As we mark World No Tobacco Day tomorrow, I call on this Honorable House to 1. Support the full implementation and enforcement of the Public Health Act, Act 851, especially provisions relating to tobacco control. 2. Strengthen regulations on the market and sale of new tobacco and nicotine products, including a ban on advertising and flavored products that appeal to the youth. particularly in our schools and communities. 4, expand rehabilitation centers in line with our broader developmental and health goals. Mr. Speaker, tobacco is not just killing our people. It is robbing families of income, robbing the nation of productivity, and robbing our youth of their future. We must not allow the profits of a few to outweigh the health and well-being of the many. Let Ghana be counted among the nations that stood firm in the face of manipulation and choose to protect her people. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes. Thank you very much. The floor is now given to Michael Edu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to make this statement on the occasion of World No Tobacco Day, which is observed annually on May 31st, which falls tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, this global awareness initiative championed by the World Health Organization, WHO, serves as a vital reminder of the devastating health, social, environmental, and economic repercussions associated with tobacco use and exposure to tobacco smoke. The theme for this year, protecting children from tobacco industry interference, underscores the urgent necessity to shield our youth from the manipulative marketing strategies employed by the tobacco industry. It is imperative that we take proactive measures to prevent a new generation from succumbing to nicotine addiction. While Ghana has made commendable progress in tobacco control, notably through the enactment of the Public Health Act 2012, Act 851, we must intensify our efforts to safeguard our population, particularly our youth, from the harmful effects of tobacco and other addictive substances. Mr. Speaker, research indicates that over 8 million individuals lose their lives annually worldwide due to tobacco-related illness, with 6,700 fatalities occurring in Ghana alone. Additionally, 1.3 million non-smokers are affected by secondhand smoke exposure. Beyond the dire health consequences, the cultivation and production of tobacco contribute to deforestation, pollution, and climate change, thereby posing a significant threat to our environment. Alarmingly, the use of tobacco, especially smokeless forms, such as chewing tobacco and shisha, is on the rise among our youth, presenting substantial risk to public health. It is high time we take decisive action to address this issue. Mr. Speaker, we must also recognize the economic burden that tobacco imposes on our healthcare system and overall productivity. Every cedi spent on managing tobacco-related diseases detracts from our efforts towards sustainable development. Therefore, I urge this Honorable House to strengthen the enforcement of existing tobacco control laws, particularly those that restrict sales to minors and prohibit tobacco advertising, promotion, and sponsorship. Furthermore, we should support educational campaigns to raise awareness about the dangers of tobacco use, targeting our schools, youth centers, places of worship, and communities. It is essential to encourage alternative livelihoods within the industry, especially in farming regions, to mitigate the risk of addictions. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, let us reaffirm our commitment to fostering a healthier Ghana, free from the clutches of tobacco and other harmful substances. We owe it to the people of Ghana and future generations to act decisively in preserving and protecting them from a lifetime of addiction and disease. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, the two statements are ably presented, and it is now for your comment. Yes, honourable member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statements made by the able members of Parliament. on the use of tobacco and then the dangers consumers encounter. I think I am going to emphasize more on what tobacco does to our body that would help deter and also discourage people from abusing it or using it. Tobacco is just like a smoke, running after a car and inhaling the smoke that comes out of it. And we know what smoke can do to our body. Besides the little nicotine that they get to stimulate their brain to be very active and also try to relate in society, it causes a lot of harm by triggering what we call formation of cancer cells in your body. And the youth and the people who abuse tobacco should be aware that anytime you smoke a cigarette, you are drawing closer to getting cancer in your body. 2, it can also even deform your physical appearance. Your face will be glued with smoke and the skin starts changing, and the beauty in you or the handsomeness in you diminishes. You start getting wrinkles in your face, and people actually do not admire you that much. The very organs that we have in our body that makes us smile with people, your teeth, become stained and can also cause you to develop cancer in your oral cavity, and that would cause more burden for our dentists in the country. With the little resources we have to fund our national health insurance, more money will be needed to treat you. So we have to stay away from smoking tobacco. It also diminishes your defense system, what we call the immune system, whereby when you get an infection, the body will be able to fight it. People who abuse tobacco, at the end, their immune system is diminished and they easily get any infection, specifically from your oral cavity to your lungs. It can diminish the ability of your body to fight any infection, and you fall sick very frequently. Most often, those who smoke tobacco for some time find it difficult to participate in physical activities. So therefore, their contribution towards the economy daily will diminish, and they become a burden now onto doctors, nurses in the hospitals, requiring high-level equipment like ventilators for them when they are sick and oxygen-generating equipment when they are sick. So therefore, young men and ladies who smoke tobacco, try to stay away from it, because after 5-10 years, you start experiencing some of these challenges. Smoking tobacco too can trigger development of diabetes. With all these juicy drinks we have in the system, if you add tobacco to it, you are prone to developing diabetes. And you know, anybody who develops diabetes becomes a burden on himself, the family, and even government, because we have to find money through the national health insurance to take care of you. It can reduce your hearing capacity. If you are a driver, you try to smoke tobacco thinking that you want to stay awake. After some time, you may not even hear that other vehicles are coming. It can cause accident on the way and give us more problems, more burden on the health budget that we cannot manage. Smoking also affects your sight. You can't see the beautiful things God has created. So I would advise the public and all Ghanaians to stay away from tobacco, because it will spoil your sight and you can't see the beautiful things around you. And in that way, it is not rewarding. So, beautiful things like flowers. Mr. Speaker, beautiful things like flowers. It will not enable you to see very well.
Honorable
so
members.
I would encourage the public to stay away from tobacco.
The member of
and
parliament is talking about beautiful things. What interpretation are you putting on beautiful things?
Mr. Speaker,
This cannot
I will
provoke
end
debate.
here by applauding those who brought the statements to the floor, and also encourage Ghanaians to stay away from tobacco, and also encourage government and we this house to implement policies that would make importation of tobacco very difficult. In that manner, we'll be able to fetch more money to give it to the health insurance to take those who will be reckless and going for smoking. Thank you very much.
Be reminded of Order 93.5. Thank you. Yes, Honorable Dr. Afriye. Honorable members, the indication is that I should take 1-1 and come to leadership.
Speaker, talk.
Please, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to add my voice to the statement, and I'll comment the makers of the statement as we celebrate the World Tobacco Day, 31st May, which will be tomorrow. So your timely statement the day before, especially as we know that tomorrow is not possible for us to hold a session, is a very good one. But Mr. Speaker, I would say that when I was in medical school, when you have any chronic illness and you go for an exams and you think there will be difficulty in producing all the causes of illnesses, sometimes when you forget yourself, just add tobacco there. Because all chronic illnesses, you put tobacco there, your lecturer will not say wrong. The lecturer will just nod, add on. So if they are looking for maybe 5 causes of diseases and you do 4, you are struggling to add the last one, just say tobacco, actually, to be admitted. Tobacco finds itself everywhere, especially as the current government is keen to join the global chorus in fighting non-communicable diseases. And then the establishment of the Ghana Medical Trust, which the minister yearly holds to his chest as Mahama Care, and which I caution the House that the choice of Mahama Care can collapse one day if you only say Mahama Care. So the Ghana Medical Trust is going to focus on chronic diseases. Mr. Speaker, chronic diseases that borders on my health, your health, the hardworking Ghanaian in this country, the prevalence has always been diabetes, hypertension, and all of them. And the hardworking people of this country, especially the above 35 years, are predisposed to any of these illnesses. Why would you want to expose yourself again to tobacco? As an African, for some, whether it's divine or whatever the situation is, we are so prone to diabetic issues, obesity issues, issues that predisposes us so much to non-communicable diseases. By the time you screen many of us, Mr. Minister, and your team will screen us as beneficiaries of the Ghana Medical Trust, you see that many of us have some sort of chronic related illnesses. We cite ourselves an example for the public to know that MPs are not super beings. And that is why many of us will not smoke. In fact, many MPs will not smoke because they know that they are predisposed to this and it's so risky for them to smoke. So I use ourselves as an example for the public to know that there's nothing good in tobacco. There's nothing good for anyone to smoke. It's not only the lungs that it affects, but virtually every part of your body is at risk to the use of tobacco. So you would say lungs, but it have effect on the heart, it have effect on, if people have stroke, everything. Tobacco is there. So I'm just only coming from this perspective that yes, we rise on every year to talk about this issue, but the public would have to hear us out as your leaders. As your leaders, we urge you that we should shy away, and each of us should be ambassadors. And Mr. Minister, we are even expecting you that, as I conclude, we're expecting that now that you have a hefty sum for the Mahama Care, and in fact the Ghana Medical Trust, may you employ MPs as your ambassadors so that we can step up advocacy to decrease the reported incidence of chronic diseases in the hospitals. So next year, you may not have to come for a lot of money. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, statement time is ended. We then move to the order paper, addendum, public business, item numbered 1. Motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that item 1 on the order paper addendum be moved today. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Motion numbered item 1 is moved. Any seconder? Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Honourable members, motion move unseconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. This is a procedural motion. The question, therefore, is, as many as are in favour, say aye. Those against, say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The motion is accordingly adopted. Honourable members, item numbered 2 on the order paper addendum.
Thank you very much again, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that this Honourable House adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole on the proposed formula for distributing the National Health Insurance Fund for 2025. Mr. Speaker, I will urge the Hansa Department to capture the report in its entirety. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the committee, having thoroughly examined the distribution formula for the National Health Insurance Fund for the year 2025, believes that the formula has fairly allocated the resources across the various levels of health in line with government's objective to deliver accessible and affordable health care to all Ghanaians. The committee therefore recommends to the House to adopt its report and approve the sum of 10,075,550,000 Ghana cedis for the year 2025 in line with the distribution formula to enable the National Health Insurance Authority undertake its activities earmarked for the year. Respectfully submitted, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honourable members, any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion, and in doing so, just to throw highlight, and now that the minister is here, that he should be mindful of the fact that the dialysis that was started by the previous government, that a seed capital of millions of Ghana cedi was allocated, and for that matter, he should try and sustain it. Also, issues concerning the NHIS and other parts of the health insurance and their administrative costs going high, they need to look at it. If the health insurance agency intend to recruit more, they must first of all call back those that they are firing. You cannot increase your administrative costs to recruit more people when you are firing others. They are equally Ghanaians. They are equally Ghanaians. It should not be part of your trademark, Minister. You are a fifth-time member of Parliament. That your first job was to fire people at NHIS, and you went around. Mr.
Did you say he's a fifth?
Mr. Speaker, it is in the report because they intend on the administrative cost in terms of budgeting.
How many term in Parliament? You say fifth.
I think he's a fifth-time member. Mr. Speaker, if I'm wrong, I stand to be corrected.
You are wrong.
Fourth. So you see, I'm wishing you well. You are a fourth-time member, and I'm saying that you are a fifth-time member. It's not easy to be in this house more than 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm giving you fifth time. Mr. Speaker, when he was ranking member on health, we saw what you did, and we were aware that you were very concerned on the cost in terms of administrative costs and that of IMIS with regards to health insurance expenditure. So I urge you to talk to the CEO that before he do anything, those that he is firing, he should call them back before he do any new recruitment. We will not sit down as a country to just be firing or terminating, revoking people appointment here and there. Minister, that is not what you are noted for. And you should not. Minister, that is what the Akando I know is not like that. Don't let your 5 months ministerial appointment change you. So, Mr. Speaker, without much, I second the motion and I urge the House that, Mr. Speaker, and I urge the House that we shall approve this so that health insurance can be able to go and do the job. They want to expand. They want to get new offices in our various districts. It will make access to health care easy and accessible to many. Mr. Speaker, without much, I second the motion. Thank you.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Yes, Honourable Mark Nawani.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the debate. The NHIS formula is one of the best in recent times. And if you look at the decapitation, the recapping of the formula, it has brought in a lot more resources. And so you can see from the formula that the budgeted amount for claims of 6,557,490,000 Ghana cedis is an increase against that of last year, which was just about 3 billion. And so we expect that healthcare facilities, that is hospitals, clinics, will be able to take good care of the patients. So the facilities will improve. Patients, when they go to hospitals, they'll be taken better care of. And we believe that this year we'll all be observing whether the co-payment will also reduce, and then the timely payments of health facilities will also take place. This year we've also seen that Donald Trump, the American president, has reduced funding through the reduction of the USAID to countries such as Ghana. And the gap that has been created has been filled with this particular formula that we've approved. And so it is good that we've done it. Domestic funding of healthcare, as is now being advocated by the whole of Africa and nations. Ghana has joined those countries, and we are going to fund healthcare, whether we get assistance from the developed countries or not. Right, Honorable Speaker, we are hoping that the NHIS biometric cards, through the formula, the assistance to the National Identification Authority will be replaced with a Ghana card, say that in future, when you go to the facilities and you have a Ghana card, you should be able to access services. It's there now, but not everybody. We intend to increase it to about 3 million through this formula by possibly the close of this year. Well, there's no time. I'll just keep it at this point. I hope that we all expect a better healthcare financing in the year 2025. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Nawani. Honourable members, in the absence of any further conclusion, any further contribution, at the conclusion of the debate, the question is as many as are in favor of the motion numbered 2 on today's order paper addendum, say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. The report of the Committee of the Whole on the proposed formula for the distribution of the National Health Insurance Fund for the year ending 2025 is hereby adopted. Accordingly, this House approves the formula for distributing the National Health Insurance Fund for the year 2025. Yes, Honorable Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Friday, and I think we are done with the items that we have on the other paper. So I would pray that we call it a day. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Members, the motion for adjournment has been moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion, and with the prayer that there will be an extension of the submission of list, but for the ministers by His Excellency the President. I'm sure Tuesday. We are hoping to see that.
Members, motion for adjournment moved and seconded. The question, therefore, is as many as are in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say no. The motion is carried. The motion is carried, and accordingly, this House is adjourned to Tuesday, the 3rd day of June, 2025, at
Mr. Speaker, it's been agreed that from next week, we'll start sitting from 2 p.m.
Well, the House is adjourned to Tuesday, the 3rd day of June, 2025, at 2 o'clock afternoon.